We're an ISO implementation and certification business, which basically means we go into businesses and help improve their processes and procedures for a variety of reasons. Could be to do with improving their environmental management of the business, quality management, health and safety, or information security. I think you've got to be determined and have tenacity if you're going to be an entrepreneur, because you will fail at things. You know, you will do things, try initiatives. Okay, you know, I'm very lucky that in this instance it's not the business that's failed, but you know, we've tried initiatives that have been my idea and haven't maybe gone to plan. And you have to just pick yourself back up and carry on. You very much have to have a positive outlook on life. I don't know one entrepreneur, and I know a few, that I would class as a negative person, and that's very much, I am very much like my dad in that way. You know, he's possibly a little bit more than I am, but very, very hopeful about things, gets very excited about new ideas, very inventive, I suppose, with when it comes to ideas, a bit of a risk taker. You've got to take risks to be an entrepreneur. Not all the time they're going to pay off, but you know, I think a lot of the most successful entrepreneurs in the world, if you think of, you know, Alan Sugar, Richard Branson, all of those types of people, they will definitely taken a risk that has both succeeded and failed in their lifetime. And I think there's some saying that says, you know, to be successful, you have to fail at least 3 times at something. So, you know, there is kind of, I think, a lot of merit in that. And yeah, and I think definitely the passion and positivity has been inherited, and probably my dad was always always at work and always busy working, and I saw that growing up, so I think that kind of work ethic probably was inherited in me as well. Let's not, you know, make any bones about it. This is his pension at the end of the day. This is what's going to keep him and my mum, you know, kind of going, because they don't have other businesses. This is the one. So, you know, there's huge pressure from that perspective, which I know they don't really want me to feel, but it's inevitable. You know, it's just the way it is. And it was his baby as well. You know, he has run other businesses in the past, but this is the one that I think he feels that he's definitely had the longest, and probably put much more energy into over the years if you add it all up. So, you know, for him there's still going to be an emotional connection to it, and if he sees me taking it off in a direction he's not really comfortable with or happy with, he's going to still say something. It makes it a lot more emotional, I think, because you are, I mean, from my perspective, being the kind of the main active director, you're very much you know, to a certain extent have the pressures of feeling like you're supporting, you know, part of your family, well, most of your family's income, which, you know, obviously has quite an emotional edge. I think from the business perspective, you know, we do treat the rest of the staff as an extended family. So again, I feel like from other roles, I get more emotionally connected to the staff, and, you know, care about, you know, them having mortgages and, you know, when they're having their weddings and stuff like that, you know, and that feeling of responsibility. So for me, having worked in both sides, the emotional connection to your staff and how you're perceived in the marketplace as a business, you know, is very kind of the biggest challenge, I suppose. Yeah, we moved to cloud accounting last financial year, so we've just completed our full financial year with that. So yeah, that was a complete shift change. We also have not moved away from our external accountants, because they're still very much in the frame, but we did hire an employed accountant, a qualified employed accountant, rather than just having it outsourced and having like bookkeepers. So that was quite a difference as well, because I felt like we needed to keep the finances a lot closer to the business, rather than, you know, externally having it managed. So so part of that process was to move towards cloud accounting, which, you know, yeah, was a quite a big change. Definitely the people management skills. In my other roles, I was very, not isolated, but I was in very roles that I didn't need to have a team around me. You know, I was a business development manager, I was a recruitment consultant. I was very much running my own desk, running my own territory. I had no need for working as part of a team. So, however, what we've done here is create very much that team working environment. So I think developing those kind of soft skills has been something that I've done here over and above anywhere else, and kind of understanding that different people, not everyone's like me, not everyone has that same drive and determination or speed at working. You know, some people are a bit more measured, a bit kind of, you know, they have standards that they want to hit, and they'd rather hit those standards than get something done as quickly as possible. I'm quite task focused. I'm quite this needs to be done, let's get it done in the quickest way possible, and not everybody's like that. And so I think doing a lot of the kind of the disc profiling that I've done, the colour profiling around kind of personality profiling, was really important to understanding other people's motivations and hopefully getting the best out of them by approaching them in the right way and dealing with them in the right way. I've probably had to tame down some of my impatience. I can be quite a rash decision maker, you know, but that normally is done not just off gut instinct but off experience as well. You know, like I said, I have worked for a few different businesses and seen quite a few different techniques and management styles and strategies and things. So I've probably had to dampen down my, you know, it's really easy to make a decision when there's only 4 of you, you know, and now there's more of us. I have had to, you know, maybe take on board other people's ideas and to be honest with you, ideas that I probably think are going to fail, but let them run with them so that they get the experience of it, either hopefully succeeding, but if not failing, then that's a valuable lesson for them. As long as it's measured and it's not going to cost the business any part of reputation, that's fine, you know, if it's... So yeah, I think that's probably those areas. Again, back to the quick decision making. That's probably it. Sometimes that's what's needed to get something done and to resolve an issue quickly and you know, maybe keep a customer happy or something like that. And other times it can maybe rub staff up the wrong way if they think that maybe I haven't considered all the options and it's just kind of a snap decision in their eyes. So yeah, I definitely think that one. I think, you know, due to the nature of our business, we are a quality management company at the end of the day. So we have to be whiter than white when it comes to the quality of our work. And I think sometimes people see that as being a bit pernickety, but it's our reputation. And you know, the biggest thing that I'm protecting here as a business is our business reputation, because that's the thing that's going to help us be sustainable and be around for you know, many more years. So yeah, I definitely think probably being a bit of a perfectionist and being a quick decision maker can kind of go in my favour and then work against me in other ways as well. Work against the perception of me, I would say. I came in as a business development. So my dad had been doing a lot of the travelling around the country. We're very much a face-to-face organisation. So he was, you know, getting a bit older, and he decided that, you know, he would quite like me to take that on. Like I said, having had sales roles, so I was out and about visiting customers, you know, driving from Essex to all the way up to Manchester or, you know, wherever needed, to go and visit prospects. And I did that for a little bit, maybe a couple of months, and then I came more into the office, as I said, if you know, on the days where I wasn't travelling around, did a bit more admin, and I think in the nicest way, the staff that he had then, with him being out of the office all the time and not being an admin man, he probably wasn't keeping as close an eye on it as he wanted to or should have. And so basically, after about 6 months, pretty much most of the staff had left that I were there when I started, and I had then recruited my own team around me, and that wasn't through any design by me. I didn't mean to. I think it was just that I came in with maybe a little bit more of a stronger attitude towards the admin. You know, what they were doing was good, but it could have been better. And I think that pressure, maybe they just didn't like that dynamic. You know, it happens a lot, I think, when family members join businesses, the staff that have been there already kind of a little bit get their noses pushed out of joint maybe. And because I was coming in quite like, right, let's change this, let's do this, let's improve this, all for the best of the business and the best of them, which it absolutely has turned out to be the right decision, because, you know, we've nearly tripled our turnover and numbers of staff. The ones that were there at the time, you know, probably didn't like that as much. I think you need to have belief in what you're doing. I don't know if that's a core skill or not, but you know, you ultimately have to believe in the product, service, you know, whatever it is your business is going to be doing. Therefore, that shows passion. People buy off people at the end of the day, and if you're passionate about what you do, then that's going to, you know, come through no matter which way. It'll also keep you going when things get tough. I think, as I've already mentioned, tenacity, you know, the ability to accept when things don't go right and not give up. And, you know, you kind of need a bit of innovation about you. You need to be a creative mind, really. You need to be able to think around problems to find a solution. You know, it's no good just going, oh, well, there's a problem, I'm just going to wash my hands of it and forget about it. It's, you know, in the same way you have to know when to give up on things, you also need to make sure that you've exhausted every avenue and have that kind of energy to do that.